Lexi, you give me stop. As soon as the sound of high heels on the marble floor stopped, Miriam's shrill cries came from behind. My fingers clutching my briefcase tightened, and out of the corner of my eye caught a glimpse of the little girl at the front desk quietly raising her eyes and quickly lowering her head to pretend to sort out the documents. Without looking back, I can imagine what she looks like at the moment, meticulously hot silver hair combed into a tight bun, wearing a cashmere coat I bought for my birthday last year, with a little uncleaned coffee stain on the neckline. I don't have time to spend with you, Miriam. I turned around, my voice as steady as possible. Didn't Jasper tell you? I have to work late today. Overtime? Overtime again. She rushed forward 2 steps. Her thin fingers almost poked me in the face. What else do you have in your eyes besides work? Jasper has a fever at home today. You don't even make a phone call, but you have leisure to talk and laugh with your male colleagues in the company. There are already a few off-duty colleagues around, slowed down, and looked curiously over here. My face burned, not with shame, but with anger. I call him 3 times in the morning, all of which were answered by you. You said he was sleeping and wouldn't let me wake him. I took a deep breath. Also, that's my team leader. We're discussing projects, not the kind of mess you think. I don't care what you're talking about. Miriam completely ignored the eyes of others, voice raised an octave. A woman's house, every day outside public appearances. Earn that little dead wages, still feel great? Jasper married you to take care of him, not to be a shopkeeper. The shopkeeper? I couldn't help laughing, with a hint of sadness in my laughter. Miriam, you touch your conscience and say, who is supporting this family? Jasper has been unemployed for nearly half a year. Which of his mortgage, your pension, or even the massage machine you bought last month did I not earn? That's what you should do. She is justified. It is only natural for a man to be responsible for supporting his family. He is only experiencing some difficulties for the time being. Can't you be more considerate of him? Instead, complain every day, do you look like a wife? Just then, a familiar figure hurried over from the elevator. It was Jasper. He was wearing a wrinkled pajamas, with a coat on the outside, his hair was messy, and his face was indeed a little pale, but there was no guilt in his eyes, only impatience. Mom, can you stop making trouble here? He grabbed Miriam and frowned at me instead. Lexi, don't say a word. Mom is also for my own good. For your own good? I looked at the man I had loved for 3 years, and his heart seemed to be clutched by a cold hand. Jasper, tell me, do you really have a fever at home today? His eyes flickered and avoided my eyes. Yes, my head has been dizzy. My mother was worried about me and came to see you. Is it? I took out my cell phone from my briefcase and opened the photo album, which was the photo sent to me by my colleague in the morning. In the photo, Jasper, wearing his favorite baseball uniform, is talking and laughing with a blonde woman in the restaurant, with a bottle of red wine and 2 goblets on the table. And who is this guy who's dating another woman in a Manhattan restaurant? Is it your long-lost twin brother? Jasper's face turned white with a swish, and Miriam froze and reached out to rob my cell phone. Don't give a dirty lie here. Jasper is not that kind of person. Did I give a dirty lie? I took a step back and let her jump empty. Miriam, did you secretly take the diamond necklace I put in the drawer last month? You said you lost it, but it was actually for the woman in the photo, right? The surrounding discussion is getting louder and louder, and I can clearly hear someone saying, "Oh my God, this is too much." It turns out that this is the case. No wonder her mother-in-law is so arrogant. Jasper's face turned red and white. He reached out to pull me. Lexi, don't embarrass yourself here. Let's go home and say something. Go home and say? I shook off his hand, with a voice of long-suppressed anger. Jasper, I've had enough. I get up at 5 o'clock every morning, make breakfast for you, then catch the subway to work overtime until 8 or 9 o'clock in the evening, and wash clothes and clean for you when I come back. What about you? What else have you done besides lying on the sofa playing games and flirting with other women? I did not. He was eager to defend. I just talking to her, no other meaning. Besides, I am also looking for a job, but I have not found the right one. Looking for work? I sneer at one. Your so-called job search is to sleep in every morning, go to the bar to drink with friends in the afternoon, and come back at night to tell me that you went to the interview? Jasper, I have given you countless opportunities. I even asked my friend to introduce you to 3 jobs. You either don't go or resign after 2 days, saying succumb. What the hell are you capable? Besides relying on me and your mother, who else can you rely on? Miriam saw her son speechless by me and immediately jumped out again. Lexi, how can you say that, Jasper? He is a man, face. Can't you encourage him more and beat him every day instead? I think you are just out of your mind. You want to find an excuse to divorce him and marry a rich man. Marry a rich man? I almost laughed at her logic. If I wanted to marry a rich man, I wouldn't have married Jasper. I chose him at the beginning because I thought he was a responsible man. I thought we could work together to live a good life. But I didn't expect that what I married was not a man, but a giant baby and a vampire mother-in-law who was in control. Who do you think is a vampire? Miriam was trembling with anger. I worked so hard to bring up Jasper. It's not easy. Now that I am old, what's the matter with letting him raise me? Let you help me out. What's the matter? You unfilial woman. Helper? I am not without help. I raised my voice and said all the words I had been holding in my heart for a long time. You were ill and hospitalized last year. I paid for the medical expenses. I hired the nurse. I have to go to the hospital to deliver food to you after work every day. What about you? On the day you were discharged from the hospital, you said in front of my relatives that I treated you badly and that I would not buy you delicious food. And your son, after he lost his job, I not only didn't quarrel with him, but also comforted him and gave him money to spend. But what about him? He took my money to buy gifts for other women and squandered them with friends. I didn't squander it. Jasper growled. That's all necessary socializing. Can I ask my friends for information when I'm looking for a job? That woman and I are just ordinary friends, and giving her gifts is only out of courtesy. Ordinary friends need to send diamond necklace? Ordinary friends need to go to a couple's restaurant for dinner? Ordinary friends need to talk until midnight every night. My series of questions left him irrefutable. Jasper, you stop fooling yourself. I have known for a long time, since you began to hide from me to call, from you does not belong to my perfume smell, from your bank card inexplicably less money. I will know. I just don't want to puncture. I still have a glimmer of hope. Hope you can turn back. Hope our marriage can be saved. But now I understand that some things are rotten, and it is useless to remedy them. I looked at him. My eyes did not have the love before, only disappointment. Miriam, you also listen up. I am not your nanny, nor your I earn money by my own ability. I have my own career, and I don't need to feel wronged for your selfish mother and son. What do you want? Jasper's voice trembled a little, and he probably didn't expect me to be so resolute. Divorce. I said word for word, my voice clear and firm. I'll get a lawyer and divide the property. This house is my down payment before marriage, and I have been paying off the mortgage after marriage, so it belongs to me. Your things, I'll have the moving company deliver them to your mother for you. Also, I will let the lawyer figure out the money you owe me, and you must give it back to me. You dare! Miriam screamed. If you dare to divorce Jasper, I will go to your company and ruin your reputation. I let everyone know that you are an unfaithful and ungrateful woman. You go ahead. I looked at her without fear. What I have not done, I am not afraid of others to say. It's you, if you let others know that Jasper is unemployed and depends on his wife to support him at home, and that he is cheating, and that you steal things from your daughter-in-law and give them to your son's lover, I don't know what others will think of you. Miriam turned blue with what I said, and could not say a word. Jasper looked at me with complex eyes, angry, unwilling, but more flustered. He probably never thought that I, who has been obedient to him and tolerant in every possible way, would have such a tough day. Lexi, let's talk about it, shall we? He lowered his posture, with a hint of plea in his tone. I know I was wrong. I will never contact her again. I will look for a good job. I will treat you well. We will not divorce, okay? It's late, Jasper. I shook my head. Trust this thing, like a piece of paper, wrinkled. Even if smooth, there will be traces. I have given you too many chances, but you don't cherish them. At this time, my phone it rang. It was my lawyer friend. I picked up the phone, and my voice was calm. Hi, Ella, are you free now? I want to ask you about the divorce. Yes, it is now. I am downstairs in the company, and they're all there. Hung up the phone, I looked at the mother and son in front of me, in the mind without any waves. Ella will be here soon. She will tell you about the divorce. I paused and added, also, please leave here now and don't affect the normal order of our company. What else did Miriam want to say? Jasper pulled her. He knew that it was useless to say anything now. I have made up my mind to divorce him. He gave me a hard look, then pulled Miriam and left in a mess. When the surrounding colleagues saw that the farce was over, they all dispersed. When someone passed by me, they quietly gave me a thumbs up. The little girl at the front desk walked up to me and whispered, Sister Lexi, you were so handsome just now. That kind of person is not worthy of your kindness to them. I smiled at her and said, thank you. The sun shines through the glass curtain wall of the office building and falls on me, warm. I took a deep breath and felt that a stone that had been pressed in my heart for a long time had finally fallen to the ground. Actually, I should have done this a long time ago. I should have woken up from the first time Jasper chose to escape after losing his job for the first time, from the first time Miriam told me what to do, and from the first time they took my efforts for granted. I thought that as long as I was tolerant enough and worked hard enough, I could maintain this marriage and get their sincere treatment. But I was wrong. Some people, you will never satisfy their desires, you will never warm their cold heart. I remember when we first got married, Jasper wasn't like that. At that time, he had a stable job. Although the salary was not high, he worked very hard and hurt me very much. Miriam is a little picky about me, but it's not too much. When did it start to change? It probably started when Jasper was laid off by the company. He couldn't accept the blow, and he never recovered. He played games and drank at home every day, and he didn't want to go out to find a job. Miriam not only refused to persuade him, but blamed me for all the mistakes, saying that I was incapable of helping her son. In order to maintain this family, I have to work harder, work overtime every day, and rise from an ordinary employee to a department head. I thought my efforts would cheer up Jasper and make Miriam feel better about me. But I didn't expect that my efforts not only didn't get their gratitude, but made them feel that this was what I should do. Jasper became more and more dependent on me, and Miriam was getting more and more insatiable. Once, I came home late at night and found the house in a mess. Jasper and his friends were drinking and playing cards in the living room. Miriam was sitting next to me watching TV and turning a blind eye to the chaos in front of me. I was so tired that I was about to collapse and wanted a drink of water, only to find that the kettle was empty. I asked them why they didn't tidy up and boil some water, but Jasper said impatiently, "Who is to blame for your late return? Do we have to do this little thing?" Miriam also helped. "That is, you are a woman's family, shouldn't you do some housework? We men are tired of playing outside. Do we have to clean up ourselves?" At that moment, I was really desperate. I feel like a free babysitter, working hard every day to earn money to support my family and waiting on them when I come back. Even so, they are not satisfied. Another time, on my birthday, I left work early and bought cakes and vegetables to celebrate with them. As a result, I came home and found no one in my house. I called Jasper, and he said he was out having dinner with friends and forgot my birthday. I called Miriam, and she said she had gone to a relative's house and forgot. That night, I sat alone in the empty living room, watching the cold cake and crying for a long time. From that day on, I began to have doubts about this marriage. I started keeping an eye on Jasper's whereabouts and started checking his phone. When I found evidence of his derailment, I didn't break out immediately. I still had a glimmer of hope that he would take the initiative to confess to me and hope that he could turn back. But he didn't. He still lied to me and perfunctory to me as before. It was not until today that Miriam came to the company to make trouble and Jasper was still defending himself that I fully realized. I can't wrong myself like this anymore. I want to live for myself. It wasn't long before Ella arrived. She was my classmate in college and a very good divorce lawyer. She saw me, gave me a hug, and then got to know the situation with me. When she learned what Jasper and Miriam had done, she was also very angry and said that she would definitely help me fight for the best interests. I took Ella to my house and Jasper's. Opening the door, the house was still in a mess. Jasper's dirty clothes were thrown all over the floor, and the coffee table was filled with beer bottles and takeaway boxes. Miriam, sitting on the sofa, saw us coming in and immediately stood up and looked at me viciously. "Lexi, are you really going to do this?" she asked. "You did it first," I said lightly. Ella took out the prepared documents and handed them to Jasper. "Mr. Jasper, this is the divorce agreement, which clearly states the division of property and the debt. The property purchased by Ms. Lexi before marriage is owned by her personally, and the joint repayment of the loan after marriage, Ms. Lexi is willing to give up the recovery from you. Your personal belongings, please move out within 3 days. In addition, the $100,000 you owe Ms. Lexi needs to be paid off within a year." Jasper's hands were shaking as he looked at the divorce papers. $100,000? When did I owe her so much money? "Ella will show you the bill," I said. "After you lost your job, I kept track of the living expenses I gave you, the money you bought gifts for that woman, and the money you squandered drinking with your friends. This money was originally intended for our old age care. Now you must give it back to me." Ella handed Jasper a stack of bills detailing the time and amount of each money spent. Jasper looked at the bill, his face growing ugly, and he couldn't say a word. Miriam leaned in to look at the bill and shouted angrily, "This money is what you should have given Jasper. He's your husband, and it's only natural that you give him money to spend. Why did you let him return it?" "It is only natural?" Ella sneered. "Ms. Miriam, according to American law, both spouses have the obligation to support each other during the marriage, but this does not mean that one party can squander the other's property without restriction. Mr. Jasper has the ability to work, but he's been unemployed for a long time. He does not fulfill his family responsibilities. Instead, he takes Ms. Lexi's money to cheat and squander. This has violated Ms. Lexi's legal rights. Ms. Lexi's request for him to repay the money is entirely reasonable and legal." Miriam was speechless by Ella and could only sit on the sofa in exasperation, cursing incessantly. Jasper hesitated for a long time and finally signed the divorce papers. After signing, he looked up at me with a hint of remorse in his eyes. "Lexi, I really regret it. If I had been able to cheer up, if I had not cheated, would we not have come to this point today?" "No ifs, Jasper." I shook my head. "You chose the road yourself, and you can only bear the consequences." After signing, Ella handed me a divorce agreement and said to Jasper and Miriam, "Please move out of here in 3 days without causing unnecessary trouble to Ms. Lexi. If you don't cooperate, we will take legal measures." With that, Ella and I left the house full of depression and pain. Walking out of the corridor, the night breeze blew, and I felt relaxed. I know that the road ahead may be very difficult, but I don't have to wrong myself for others anymore. I can focus on my career, I can do what I want to do, and I can find that confident and happy self again. The next day, I went to work in the company and found that my colleagues looked at me very friendly. No one pointed at me because of yesterday. On the contrary, many colleagues came to comfort me and encourage me. My supervisor also talked to me and said that if I need to take time off to deal with the divorce, the company will fully support me. I am very touched and glad to have such good colleagues and supervisors. I told them that I was fine and I could work normally. I don't want a failed marriage to affect my career and life. A few days later, Jasper and Miriam moved away. When they moved away, they didn't tell me, just left a key at the door. I invited people from the cleaning company to clean up and thoroughly cleaned up the house. When the cleaning staff removed all Jasper and Miriam's things and cleaned the house spotlessly, I stood in the empty living room with an unprecedented calm in my heart. I bought myself a bouquet of sunflowers to put in a vase in the living room. Sunflower symbolizes sunshine and hope. I hope my future can be like sunflower, full of sunshine and hope. One day, when I came home from work, I passed the coffee shop downstairs and saw a familiar figure. It was Jasper in a shabby coat who was handing out leaflets at the door of the coffee shop. He sees me, eyes God dodges, and wants to turn away. I didn't go over, just looked at him quietly for a moment, then turned and left. I didn't gloat or sympathize, just felt he deserved it. He finally had to face the reality and had to earn money for his family with his own hands. As for Miriam, I later heard from neighbors that she had moved to another city and cut off contact with Jasper because she could not stand other people's comments. I don't have any feeling about it. Her quality has nothing to do with me. Time passed quickly, and in a twinkling of an eye, a year passed. My career is getting better and better, and I have been promoted to the department manager of the company. I bought a new car and took my annual leave to travel around Europe. I have met many new friends, and my life has become full and happy. Sometimes I think of that failed marriage of Jasper and Miriam. But I no longer hate them, but thank them very much. They made me understand that women cannot rely on others but on themselves. It was they who taught me to be strong, to refuse, and to live for myself. On one occasion, I spoke as a representative of outstanding employees at the company's annual meeting. I looked at the familiar faces in the audience and said, I have experienced a very dark time. I thought I would never get out. But then I found that as long as you have the courage to refuse to compromise and have the courage to pursue the life you want, you will definitely be able to get rid of the darkness and usher in the light. Therefore, no matter what difficulties you encounter, don't give up on yourself and believe that you deserve a better life. The audience burst into warm applause. I saw Ella sitting in the front row, smiling at me. I know that my life has just begun.